All right, now we're going to talk about words that we're familiar with, words that we've probably seen before in the English language. The first word is ambulance. Now, I want you to think back to our root words or the words that we learned in Latin. Do you notice anything about ambulance in the vocabulary words that we learned this week? Well, I know that I see ambule here, A-M-B-U-L, and I see A-M-B-U-L right here. Well, I'm going to guess that the word ambulance, if I didn't know it already, has something to do with walking. Because remember, ambulo, that means I walk. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that the word ambulance actually means, this is its meaning, a vehicle to carry those who cannot, what do you think that they cannot do? Who can tell me? Think about its meaning. All right, if you guess that it's a vehicle to carry those who cannot walk to the hospital, you are correct. And I spelled that, there we go. Who cannot walk to the hospital. Okay, so we took our root of ambulo, which was one of our vocabulary words, or ambulo, excuse me, ambulo, and we looked at the word ambulance that we've seen before, and we figured out that the meaning of ambulance is actually a vehicle to carry those who cannot walk, because ambulo means to walk, or I walk. So an ambulance is a vehicle to carry those who cannot walk to the hospital. And we used the Latin word ambulo, and we recognized its root in the word ambulance. So, pretty neat. Now let's look at another word that we may be used to, or maybe we've seen before. How many of you have heard of the lunar eclipse? Raise your hand if you've heard of the lunar eclipse. I hope you have. You'll probably talk about it in science this year. All right, well, we are going to talk about lunar. And if you had to look back, if you had to guess, what do you think lunar might mean? And I'll give you a little bit of a hint here. Remember, luna, our vocabulary means moon. Luna means moon. So, if you guess that lunar has to do with the moon, you are correct. Lunar means having to do with the moon. Okay. And remember, here, our word luna, we see in the word lunar. So pretty neat. Okay, we're going to move on. And we are going to talk about our closing, when we're going to end in a little bit of a new thing where we're going to learn about how to pronounce a Latin word that we use in prayer. And this particular word is oremus. Oremus. Oremus is like how you say it. Oremus. And oremus means let us pray. Let us pray. So when you hear the word oremus, it means let us pray. And it is a word that we say before each prayer. So oremus means let us pray. And we say it before each prayer. Okay, now we are going to review. How many of you remember how many letters there are in the Latin alphabet? Who can tell me? Who can remember? All right. If you guessed that there are 25 letters in the Latin alphabet, you are correct. 25. Okay. And which letter is missing from the Latin alphabet? I bet all of us can guess it. Let's say it together. The letter W. Very good. The letter W is missing from the Latin alphabet. All right, that concludes our first lesson of Latin, and thank you for participating.